And, you know, creating a YouTube channel is not an overnight sort of, you know, you don't find overnight success creating a YouTube channel. You know, it's different if you're creating an Instagram profile and you're basically showcasing fashion pieces, for example. If you're a beautiful girl and, you know, you've got a lovely figure and you're sort of showcasing different dresses and pieces of clothing, you know, it's very, I would say it's a lot easier to get your likes and to get your subscribers. But when you're creating, you know, 10-15 minute videos for YouTube, you know, it's long-winded content sometimes, and, you know, people's kind of attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. And I find, generally speaking, that, you know, I would assume that YouTube content is a lot harder to create, obviously, because it's sometimes it's a 10-15 minute video. There's lots of editing involved. You have to be concise. You have to have planned out your content so it makes sense, so that it flows, so that you're hitting certain marks at each point in the video. It has a middle, it has a beginning, middle, and an end. It has a call to action sometimes, you know. But, you know, my approach as to creating a YouTube channel was just basically not expecting much at all. I don't care about how many subscribers I have. I don't care about, you know, how many people like my videos, how many comments I get, because I know that initially it's very hard to get those big numbers. And, you know, that wasn't my priority to start with. God, I'm getting hot, and I have to take this off because the minute I open the window to get some air, it's just going to be very noisy because there's traffic. So yeah, my goal was to basically exercise the skills and the tools that I've picked up in from a digital marketing course that I've already completed. So it was kind of just putting those skills into practice, and slowly getting a gist of how YouTube works, you know, how to create headings, how to create content sort of bullet points, how to look at SEO and all sorts of other things. It's not just about creating content so I can get followers. It's about, you know, implementing some skills that I've learned, and kind of looking at the feedback, looking at the results, looking at analytics as well, and looking at, you know, comparing my channel to other more successful channels, comparing my YouTube thumbnail, for example, to other channels, finding out what works, what doesn't, what content people like, what they tend to skip past, or you know, content that I don't get much interaction or engagement with. So it's not about, you know, getting out there and becoming famous for me. It's about, you know, implementing a lot of the skills that I've already learned. You know, and the best way to learn is just to get your feet wet and get out there and start, you know, experimenting. So that's essentially why I created a YouTube channel. And I think that no matter what you're talking about, there's always going to be an audience, whether it's a small one or quite a large one. Eventually, you will find people that are attracted to your channel. And I don't think that, you know, small subscription numbers should be a deterrent when you are creating a YouTube channel. Like, I always say, because I am attached to a YouTube creation kind of Telegram channel, and people are expressing similar things where they're like, oh, I'm not getting subscribers, I'm not getting a lot of engagement, I'm not getting a lot of likes on my videos, you know, I feel really kind of like I'm not doing things right, or, you know, people are not interested in my content. But my argument is, you know, all you need to do is stay genuine to stay genuine to your authentic self. And that might be just, you might not be sort of you might have not honed into a specific topic as yet. I started my YouTube channel creating videos on carnivore diets, and I've created a lot of content so far around that. But, you know, I want to get into, you know, conversations about spirituality, about relationships, about remote working, working overseas, creating multiple sources of income. There's so many things floating around in my head. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, you shouldn't lose focus on the bigger picture, because, you know, when you're looking at your YouTube channel or any social media account day by day, and you're purely judging your your content or your success through, you know, numbers, it doesn't always, you know, you can get discouraged very, very quickly. And, you know, the worst thing to do is to compare yourself with YouTube channels that are successful and that have 2 and 3 million followers. You know, look back at, you know, actually look at their accounts, go to their about page, find out how long they've actually been on YouTube. Some people have been on YouTube 5 years, and on their 6th year, that's when they crack open and they get, you know, a huge amount of followers. And, you know, it also depends on how targeted you are with your content as well. You know, some people out of the gate have a really clear system in place and already have a lot of social media knowledge, and they've pretty much whether they've done extensive, you know, whether they've gained excessive accreditations around sort of YouTube, SEO, social media management, that sort of thing. And they sort of, out the gate, they get a lot of subscribers. You know, I know a lot of channels that have been around for a year and a half, and they're already on sort of 50, 60, 100,000 followers and that sort of thing. And other people, you know, stagnate and kind of creep up the ladder very, very slowly, and then bang, you know, they have a video that goes viral 5, 6 years down the track, and that's when they start to get some serious traction. So I think that taking away the expectation from, you know, creating a YouTube channel and just creating content in general has kind of helped me, you know, stay focused on just my genuine, authentic truth, you know, documenting my journey, what I'm actually going through at the moment, and just kind of, you know, lending out some advice to people that may be creating their own YouTube channel and they feel like they're kind of wasting their time. They don't know. They don't feel like anybody's listening. They don't feel like anybody's kind of taking it in. And, you know, I want to highlight something. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who's actually, whether it's you know, it might be a 5-second moment in your video where you say something very poignant or very sort of genuine and heartfelt, and somebody out there, it resonates with them tremendously, and you help them out with something that you will never understand. And I think that, oh, I'm getting chills. So, you know, don't lose, and these kind of people that watch your videos and get something out of them usually don't leave comments. You know, they usually don't like your video, and they're a kind of silent observer of content. And I do that quite often as well, especially with videos that I find extremely interesting, but they're quite sensitive. They might be talking about spiritual kind of, I'm very careful where I leave comments on YouTube specifically, because there are some things that I feel and some beliefs that I have that I want to keep private. So you gotta keep that in mind as well. You might touch a nerve with somebody, but they're just not in a space where they want to make their feedback public. And that's a big factor attached to YouTube creation as well, because obviously you need to manage your social media footprint, and people that are still in the workforce and have a normal job, you know, don't want to sort of expose themselves too much. And I totally understand that. So you've got to take that into consideration as well when you are creating, you know, content for YouTube specifically, because people on YouTube talk about very sensitive topics, very heartfelt topics, sometimes very controversial topics, and you're not always going to have a huge list of comments below your video. So, I mean, that's where I am at the moment. I'm going to continue experimenting with my YouTube content and video creation, but I will keep my, obviously when I make this, when I make my YouTube channel public again, you will have access to all the videos that I have posted previously and ongoingly. And I hope that the content that I eventually do make public, you know, is not time sensitive or time, what's the word, that it kind of applies regardless of the time and the date that I actually post it. And I'm going to try to sort of create content around that sort of thought process. But just generally speaking, what's happening with me at the moment is that I'm going to have to look at full-time employment, and I'm just waiting for the right opportunity where it kind of fits, kind of sort of, I'm looking for certain things. I'm looking for a role that is obviously challenging and within my scope, but, you know, I am also looking for a role that allows me to be creative outside of working hours, because I've got a lot of interest and a lot of things going on mentally, and a few opportunities as far as, you know, taking up a few more skills and a few more accreditations. So I'm really excited to be talking about that. I still want to do my buyer's agent course. I'm really keen to start that. I have enrolled into a TAFE course for real estate, so I would be keen to start that as well. It just all depends on how much I can take on as well. So and another thing that I've come across that sounds really exciting for me, I've got a lot of things going. I don't know if I can sort of make this all happen, you know, at the end of this year or early next year, but it also depends on how things pan out for me financially, because obviously, you know, getting accredited, there is a financial component to things like that. So where was I? So yeah, so I'm waiting for some things to kind of fall into place. I'm kind of working on committing to a full-time standard work role, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Hopefully I can find a sort of hybrid situation where it's kind of 1 or 2 days at home, and then the remaining weekdays I can be in the office. Something that's not too far away. I don't want to be commuting 1 to 2 hours in the morning. I've done that. I used to do that for many years. I used to be on the road, account management roles, really kind of stressful business management and customer service roles, where I was looking after New South Wales and ACT all on my own. So I'm not going to do that. You know, I've come to a point where I have realized that I'm willing to commit to a company and have a normal job, but I don't want to extend myself to the point where it's not sustainable and I'm going to sort of burn myself out within 2 years, because with account management and sales roles that are quite sort of, there are high KPI expectations, you tend to see it in the industry. People kind of work at those kind of roles for 1-2 years, they get exhausted. You know, they get burnt out, they kind of take 3 to 6 months off, and then they, you know, recharge and get back into a similar role with another company. So I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be jumping around. I want to find a work role that is a lot more stable and a lot more sustainable over sort of, you know, the next 3 to 5 to 7 years, depending on how happy I am there and the rest of it. But you need to create, I don't want to take on a role that has such high demand that I don't have the mental capacity to, say, work on, you know, completing a course of an evening or on the weekends. And there's so many other things that I want to do as well in the next couple of years, which I will get into in other videos. But, you know, there's still things that I need to work on. I've got, my parents are going to be moving once again in about a week as well. I will move into a new residence with them as well, temporarily. There's been a lot of movement in the last 12 months, and there's a few things that really need to slot in so I can, you know, I know what I've got to work with as far as making some decisions moving forward. So, you know, it's things are tensing up as far as, you know, I've heard through the grapevine that there is another co and the rest of it that starts with V, so another sort of virus that's coming out. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know what that means for the working environment, whether they're going to implement mask wearing and kind of working remotely. I don't know what next year's going to look like. I'm a little bit hesitant, but I've come to a point where I just need to take some action, and whatever happens happens. And you know, you just got to trust that God will have your back, and you know, things will pan out regardless of what happens within the economic and the sort of global environment. So that's where I'm at the moment. I went away last week. I recharged quite a bit. You know, as far as a carnivore diet, I'm carnivore-ish at the moment. You know, the one thing that I'm finding hard to kind of commit to is when I'm actually out with friends and family, when I'm away from my kitchen and my normal sort of routine of, you know, knowing when to eat, what to eat. My fridge is very bare. It has the basics as far as, you know, what I eat as far as a carnivore diet. But I am finding it hard now to commit to a carnivore diet when I'm actually going out, meeting up with friends and family, when they're ordering. I'm finding it hard to say, no, I don't want to go to that shop or restaurant. I want to go somewhere else because this is my diet. I don't really like talking about the carnivore diet with people that I don't know very well. It is still a controversial diet. And, you know, you don't have to tell people everything, you know, it's not their business at the end of the day. And if they're not a close friend, even more so. So, you know, I am finding it hard, you know, and it's just psychological, you know. I need to make those conscious decisions when I am out in public at restaurants or cafes, and I need to make sure that I jump back on board pretty soon, because I am starting to get those small symptoms coming back. Now, the other thing that I've started to try, that a lot of people, I've seen some videos about it, is castor oil patches. Now, I've tried them on my tummy, and it has helped with some detox and digestion issues. You know, I'll create some more videos around that. But castor oil is amazing. I've researched it the last 3 weeks, and there's so many other things that castor oil that castor oil can do, aside from, you know, help with can't say that word, digestive issues. It can help with wrinkles on the face. There's all sorts of applications as far as what castor oil can do. But I just wanted to check in. It was kind of a bit of a verbal diarrhea for about now, 18 minutes. Wow, that's going to be a long video. But I just wanted to check in, let you guys know what I'm up to, what my situation is currently, you know, looking for work, looking at committing to some other courses that will, you know, help me on my remote working lifestyle down the track. You know, I'm thinking sort of 3-4 years down the track, you know, and there's a lot of things going on in my sort of family life as well. So I love you all. I hope that, you know, you get something out of this video. I will try and sort of post more frequently, but as I said, at the moment my YouTube channel is private, and yeah, once I'm comfortable in a work role and I understand what I have to do moving forward, then I'll make it public and move forward and just create more content for you. But in the meantime, I love you all. Stay strong, and I really hope that you guys are, yeah, just taking note of what I said in my second last video as well. Just look after yourself. If you feel like you need some time out, if you feel like you need to get out in nature, get away from people and to recharge, is really important, especially at the moment. You know, things are going haywire again. It just feels, I have a resurfacing kind of feeling that, you know, things might ramp up again as far as the weird, you know, pandemic stuff that was going on 2-3 years ago. So I don't know what that's going to look like moving forward, but just yeah, try to remain centered and try to look after yourself. You know, as I've said before, make sure that your cup is full, or if it isn't full, make sure that you take time to continuously fill it, whether it's a little bit or a lot. You know, take 5-10 minutes out of your day to just look after yourself and make sure that your mental health is stable. And you know, that's the only way that we can extend ourselves and help other people. So with that, I bid you farewell for now, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.